Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In today's tutorial we're going to be learning how to draft a basic bodice pattern. With this basic bodice pattern you can achieve a lot of great styles while sewing, either by sewing it as it is or modifying the style. Okay, so to do this tutorial we're going to be using our pattern masters and we're going to be using our tape, our marker and our pattern paper. Please do well to subscribe to this channel so you can get notified whenever I post a new video and you can join the family. Also leave a comment in case you have any questions for clarification and leave a like as it would encourage me to make more videos. And let's jump right into it. Okay, so for this tutorial we're going to be needing our shoulder measurement. We're also going to be needing our bust measurement, our under bust measurement, our half length measurement and our hip measurement. So to start with, we're going to start with our shoulder measurement, which is the starting point when marking out a basic bodice pattern. My shoulder measurement, I'll just start by drawing a line. This line is going to be my shoulder line. I'm going to draw a line right across here. This line will serve as my shoulder line. Then I'm going to mark my armhole line. To get my armhole line, I'm going to divide my bust measurement by 6 and I'm going to add 1.5 inches. My bust measurement is 37 and 37 divided by 6 will give me 6.1 plus 1.5 inches and that will give me 7.6. Let's just say that's 7.5. So 7.6, that's somewhere around here. So I'm going to mark 7.6. And I'm just going to draw a straight line. This line is my armhole line. And I'm going to mark my bust line. For your bust line, you're going to measure from your shoulder to your nipple point. That's where you're going to mark your bust circumference. So just measure from your shoulder to your nipple point. My shoulder to my nipple point, where I have my nipple, is 10.5. I'm going to mark a straight line at 10.5. So this is my armhole line, and this is my bust line. Okay, so I'm going to mark my under bust line. To get my under bust, I'm just going to go with the same flow. I'm going to measure from my shoulder to under of my bust, and shoulder to under of my bust, I have that as 14. I'm also going to draw a straight line at this point at 14 inches. And then I'm going to measure my shoulder to my half length to mark my waist measurement. It's usually around that snatched part of your waist, or you can just go 1 inch above your belly button. That's how I do it. So 1 inch above my belly button, I have 16.5. That's also the snatched part of my waist, just so your clothes can have that curve. So I'm just going to draw a straight line here. And I'm going to mark my hip line. That will be the last line I'll be marking. I'm going to mark my hip line, and my hip line is at 24. The 24. I'm going to mark, for this tutorial, I'm going to mark it as 25 inches. And I'm going to draw a straight line at 25 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to name this. This is my under bust line. This is my half length, which is also my waist, and this is my hip line. Okay, so I'm just going to create my shoulder slope. That will be the next step in this tutorial. Okay, so to create the shoulder slope, I'm going to come to my shoulder line and I'm going to come down by 1 inch. I'm going to come down by 1 inch and I'm going to connect this 1 inch all the way here just to make it slanted. Okay, so to create my armhole curve, I'm going to draw a straight line from here to here. But first of all, I'm going to mark my shoulder measurement. My shoulder measurement is 16. We divide shoulder measurement by 2. Shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 16 divided by 2, that will be 8. I'm going to mark 8 inches at this point. So from this 8 inches, I'm going to connect all the way down at this point. I'm going to go ahead to impute my other measurements. For my bust is 37. 37 divided by 4. The bust measurement is usually divided by 4. 37 divided by 4 will give me 9¼ So 9¼ this is what I have. I'm also going to mark 9¼ as the armhole line. Okay, and I'll go ahead and measure my under bust, round my under bust and round my half length. For me, my under bust and half length is the same measurement, which is 31. So 31 divided by 4 is 7½. So I'm just going to measure that and mark it here. Like I said, it's the same measurement for my bust, my under bust and my bust line. So I'm going to go ahead and measure my hip measurement. My round hip measurement is 43. 43 divided by 4 will give me 10½. 10½. I'm going to mark it on my hip line, and I'm going to connect this marks that I've made with a curve. And I'm going to mark out my next line. That will be the next step. For my neckline, I'm going to be doing a round neckline for this basic bodice tutorial. And this is going to be how I'm going to do it. I'm going to go up by 3 inches. And I'm going to come down by 3 inches. Remember that this is just a basic bodice pattern. When cutting an actual neckline, you have to decide how deep you want your neckline to be and also the kind of neckline you want. If it's also a V neckline, then you can actually make that V curve. But for this tutorial, it's going to be a round neckline. So I'm going to use my pattern master. I'm going to place it at this point, and there I have my neckline. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be creating a dart. So to create that dart, I'm going to mark the dart around here, but to get that point which I'll mark the dart, I'll measure my nipple to nipple measurements. My nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches divided by 2 will give me 4 inches, and I'll just mark 4 inches on my under bust line. So from this 4 inches, which is this line here, let me just extend that. I'm going to go out by ½ inch on this side and ½ inch. Depending on how busty you are, you can go out by 1 inch to 1½ inches. But I'm going to go out by ½ inch because I'm not very busty. And I'm going to connect all the way to this point. I'm also going to mark 4 inches here, so I know where to connect to. So I'm going to connect all the way to this point, so all the way to my bust line. This is that. Don't get confused. Okay, so I'm going to draw this dart all the way down here. I'm going to come up at my hip measurement by 3 inches. Now connect that 4 inches line all the way down, and from this point I'll go out to come to this point. I'm going to place my ruler like this. I'm going to draw, sorry, make that line get to this point. Okay, this is the line. Please ignore this one. This is the line. Okay. Okay, so here I have my dart. This dart is useful because it gives the clothes fitting and gives it a shape. The front bodies, I'm going to add another dart to it. To create this dart, I'm going to go down from the bust line. I'm going to go down from the bust line by 2 inches. And I'm going to connect these 2 inches all the way to this point. And I'm going to go up by ½ inch on both sides of this line that I've created. I'm going to connect it all the way to this point. I'll explain the reason for this dart after cutting the back piece. So now I'm going to show you how to cut the back bodies. It's basically the same pattern. It's basically the same pattern, but the difference is that for the back bodies, most clothing usually have a zipper or a corset loop or a button behind it. So for the back bodies, we usually create an allowance for that. So I'm just going to take 2 inches to 1.5 inches. I'm going to go with 1.5 inches for this back bodice allowance. I'm going to draw a straight line. This space here, we call it the zipper allowance. Okay, so this is the zipper allowance. So it's basically the same measurement as the front bodies. Just going to go ahead and mark your shoulder line. You're going to go ahead and mark your armhole line, your bust line, your under bust line, your half length line, and you're going to create a straight line and then impute those measurements, and you have the same thing as you have at the front neckline, at the front body, sorry. But the difference, like I said, in this back bodies is the zipper allowance and the darts. Now we still have the same darts as in the front piece. Go out by 4 inches. This dart, like I said earlier, gives the cloth a fitting. Okay, so this is a back bodice pattern. Well, now I'm just going to show you the difference between this bodice and this bodice pattern. The reason that we add this dart in the front bodice pattern is because when you are sewing or when you are measuring, you will notice that at the back bodice, all the way, when you measure from your shoulder to your half length, it is longer than when you measure from the front bodies, your shoulder to your half length. I don't know if you get it. When you take your tape and you measure the front part of your body, when you measure from the shoulder to your half length, it is shorter than when you measure from your shoulder to your half length at the back piece. So that helps us to create that bodice pattern that we have, and it also helps give this clothes a better fitting. So I'm just going to impute the neckline. In most clothing, the back neckline is usually smaller than the front neckline. So I'm just going to go down 3 inches by 1 or 1.5. Like I said, it depends on the type of clothing that you are making and the kind of neckline that it demands. So this is the back bodice. For instance, if the back bodice demands a V neckline, I'm just going to show you how you can modify this. You can go back, you can go down depending on how deep you want it to be. Let me say mine is 7 inches. I'll just connect it to a straight line. And there I have a V neckline. That's just how to modify this in different cases. So this is my front bodice pattern and this is my back bodice pattern. I do hope you found this tutorial very helpful. Please do well to leave a like, a comment in case you have any questions, and subscribe to this channel so you can always get notified whenever I post a new video. Thank you guys for watching and see you in my next tutorial. Bye.